For 250 years, America has been built by workers, dreamers, soldiers, farmers, fathers, mothers, and everyday people. As we prepare to celebrate America's 250th Independence Day, join us for a special Gentlemen's Roundtable on Tuesday, June 30th at 7:30 p.m. Central, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, as we celebrate America, talk caps, and enjoy great conversation. Happy 250th birthday, America. Welcome to the Gentlemen's Roundtable.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Gentlemen's Roundtable. Tonight, we have a special episode. We have special guests joining us that are from different branches of the armed forces. And I, myself, in Reviews of Moose, I have got the 250th anniversary cap by Boston Scally. And what about you, Dubs?
Yeah, Dubs Hat Hub. I'm wearing the Made in the USA Mulligan Gear Gang Boss. And I thought, what better way to celebrate 250 years with Made in America? So,
Chad, first 508th Airborne on YouTube. I served with the 82nd Airborne, the first 508th, hence my channel name. I'm just wearing an old military booty cap with my jump wings on it.
Anox on box. I am wearing the boosted brims America 250 Scally cap here. It's got the embroidery there, the eagle, and then the wings on the back of the American flag. So great cap, made in the USA by a small hat maker. Big up to Chris Gotti, boosted brims for this cap. I love it.
looks good, man.
Yeah, and our first special guest tonight, we got Harry. Harry, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Greetings, everyone. My name's Harry. Most of my friends call me Shorty too. Retired Army, Star First Class, Cavalry Scout, hence the cool lid I got going on. Retired 24 years, Sergeant First Class. I actually started out in the Air Force. I did 5 years there as a aerospace ground equipment mechanic. 9/11 happened. The Air Force wasn't really doing much, but the Army needed boots on the ground. I said, why not? So I crossed over and made some history.
Thank you for your service, First Sergeant.
Yes.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I did not know he crossed over. That's cool.
That is pretty cool.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be an amazing episode tonight for sure. I mean, we're gonna hear a lot of stories, but also we're gonna be asking some questions in the chat. But again, I am very respectful for our military, and please keep it that way throughout the whole night. And I understand there's certain things people don't like going on, but this is not that night to do any kind of comments on that at all. We're here to enjoy the show and enjoy these gentlemen's stories and the times they served to keep our country free. All right. So with that being said, Harry, we sent you a little thing there, and here's how the guidelines are going to go for people at home. Each one of our guests is going to share some of their favorite caps, the patriotic caps. As far as their branches of the military, some maybe share some stories. It's totally up to them and what they feel comfortable doing, and basically what the patriotism means to them and keeping this country free. So, go ahead, Harry. Let's go ahead and start getting right into it, sir.
All right. First, of course, I got to show Little Foreman come out to party with me.
Hell yeah, little woman in the house.
So patriotic caps, definitely my cavalry scout cap. You got to do what's called spur ride to earn the right to wear them, along with spurs. And so for me, that was a big accolade going through. And so on special occasions, I like to bust it out and rock it. The next one would be the coveted Brown Round or Smokey the Bear cap. I did do drill sergeant for 3 years.
Nice.
Loved every moment of it. It was great to see civilians coming in and molding them and shaping them to understand the basic fundamentals to send them off to grow and become the future leaders within the military.
Can I ask you a question real quick? Where did you serve as drill sergeant?
Fort Jackson.
Cool.
Oh, South Carolina?
Yep.
No way.
As they say, relax in Jackson. But I guarantee if you had me as drill sergeant, you weren't relaxing. And then the next one that's really near and dear, my cousin made for me. Big Bills fan, so she did it in the old desert camo.
Nice.
And then when it comes to Scully's, I went ahead and got the grunt. I really loved the color and the texture, and I had to add 101st. Of all the units I've been to, that one is the near and dear to me. Seen a lot of action, lost a lot of brothers, so that one definitely is the unit I call home. And then the only other two ones I have that would be patriotic or military themed is, of course, my newest one here from Mulligan Hats, and that is the Mucros. I love it because it's got the red and blue pattern, but it's not
that's nice.
out in your face. It's real nice, casual. You can wear it with light clothing, whatnot, and dress up as well. And then the next one I got is a Sikorsky. A little bit darker tones, a little heavier. So Texas heat, where I'm at right now, not the greatest one to wear. That's that Harris tweed, but again, I love the color pop in that. It's not that real bright red and blues that we see other caps coming out with. So I really enjoy that. Patriotism means to me. That one's a deep one. Again, serving 24 years. Obviously, I had to have some patriotism in me to do that. It's the ability to stand up and fight to protect the land that you live in and those that live in that land with you that you don't even know. You see them day by day, but you don't know them. You don't know what they're going through, but you're willing to stand up and protect them. That's what patriotism is to me, whether it be an enemy at the home. Currently, I'm a security officer at Memorial Herman Northeast, so I continue to serve in a security capacity, protecting those around me. Love every moment of it. Matter of fact, I just got off of work a couple of minutes ago. So, like I said, I continue to live that patriotic way. And then military stories. I do got a really good one. It actually is kind of funny. I got blown up, but again, it is a funny story. We all see battle and combat. Like I said, I started out in the Air Force. 9/11 happened. I deployed immediately to Saudi Arabia. And then the next year after that, I went to Diego Garcia. But it really wasn't, it was like, I felt like I was in an air show. I supported the aircraft. They flew off, did their stuff, come home. I helped putting them back together. They weren't, no damage done to war or anything like that. The Army was needing some food to the grinder, if you will. So I raised my hand and went over, crossed over, no breaking service, and started out as a tanker. So I got to deploy to Iraq as a tanker. That was interesting, unique. Did that, and then came home, said, you know what? I'm not done yet. I want a little bit more excitement. They got the Cav Scouts. They're a bunch of rowdy bunch, dirty, crazy mustaches and such. That's me. Let me go. Did that, and I got to go to Afghanistan twice with them. But the first time I went was definitely the biggest, baddest one. We lost a lot of guys. We lost our commander before we even got on ground. He went ahead of us. And then we got there, but it was, full flame on. We were going to get after whoever it is that got our dad, if you will. And in November, we lost about 5 of them. Very tragic at that point. But the one story that we'll share is we're out on a patrol, and I'm in a vehicle that gets blown up. 120-pound, what's called homemade explosive. Thank God they don't know the ballistics of bombs too well over there, and they don't understand that they take the path of least resistance. So they had it under a bridge, so majority of 120 pounds went away from us instead of up under our carriage. So we suffered minor damage, pulled the vehicles over, did what we've been trained to do, got out, pulled security, looked for the secondary device, and our newly lieutenant, this is his first time by himself. He's like, hey, I need a group of guys. We're going to hit this clot over here, which is basically a neighborhood house. They got to know what happened in their neighborhood. We need to find out what's going on. So I'm like, all right. I grabbed the team and we go over, knock on the door, and he's just ranting and raving, rah, 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 telling our linguist, you tell him, blah, 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 blah. And I had to calm him down. I'm like, sir, calm down, calm down. And he's like, but my boys. I'm like, sir, I was in that vehicle. We're fine. you are growling at them right now. That's what's coming off. And half the words you said do not even translate in their native tongue. So you're not really saying anything. They're going to shut down. They're not going to give us any intel. It's a waste. He calmed down. Afterwards, we talked about it. And he asked me, he's like, well, how can you be so calm? And I was like, well, sir, you have to be, especially you. You're our lieutenant. You're our leader. If you lose it, what do you think the guys below are going to do? They're going to break down. They're going to be afraid because they're like, wow, if our boss is scared, we're in a world of hurt. And it changed him. You know, we came, you know, real good friends. We still talk long after being out of the military. We reminisced that day. It was his point to grow and become that combat leader from a junior leader experience. So that one is the story I share all the time. Before I retired, I got to teach ROTC at Sam Houston, and that story I used for the future leaders on, yeah, we can easily train you to go towards the fight, just at the third, but like a famous quote from Mike Tyson, everybody's got a plan till you punch it in the face.
Yeah.
Bullets come your way, different story. You could be the biggest
Yeah.
badass around. You're the one behind the rock crying. You know, so I was not that one behind the rock crying, and I would elevate those around me to continue because it was like we still have a job to do. And thankfully, the group that I was with made it home safe. No one got hurt, but unfortunately, you know, casualty of the war, you're going to have losses. So there's stories on that. I just don't feel comfortable sharing. But
Right.
yeah, it's been a wild ride. Would not give up on any moment. I would do it all over again. And like I said, you know, I'm really honored to be on the show to share what 250 really means to me and what I've done in America leading up to this magic point happening on the 4th.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yes.
Thanks,
And,
sir.
Appreciate
One
you.
vet to another.
And you ride with the vets motorcycles, right? Because he actually sent me some pretty cool stuff, some patches and stuff. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So when I got out, whatnot, you know, my dad got me into riding motorcycles, Shorty, hence the Shorty 2. I'm Shorty also. And so one of the motorcycle groups out there is the Combat Vets Motorcycle Association. They're not an MC, just an association, but it's a group of combat veterans. And if you served but didn't do combat, you could be a support member. And we just get together, hang around, swap those stories, elevate each other when we have our dark times, because those that serve know there's those periods that you just go dark and you need a brother or sister to pull you up out of that hole. And that's what we do for each other. And then our main drive is we are vets helping vets. So we are nonprofit raising funds to support vets in need, whether they be homeless vets or just they can't get around, they're, you know, injured and they just can't mow the lawn. We get together, get out there and cut the grass for them. I mean, something that simple.
Oh,
That's great.
yeah, I agree. And when you brought up Fort Jackson earlier, I've probably been to Fort Jackson probably 30, 40 times. And in the weekends, because we'd always go, I actually coached the South Carolina bowling team.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Our practices were held on base there. They have 2 bowling alleys there, as you know. And
Right.
they, in every, like, once every while, they would actually be doing their testing where they're running and doing the little, I don't know what you guys call it, but I call it an obstacle course on the side. And,
Yeah.
And those kids, I was just like, in Fort Jackson, I mean, in summertime, it gets to be about 100 and some degrees with the humidity. And yeah, much respect to those kids. But yeah, it was something to see. And yeah, Fort Jackson's probably one of the nicer bases I've seen as far as like as a pedestrian coming in. But
Right.
yeah, it's when you said Fort Jackson, it brought back a lot of memories. Yeah.
And then like talk about memories, the show we had last week when you guys talked about dad, it hit home for me too, because I too am a father. I got 2 daughters and a son. My dad served in the Navy. I served obviously Air Force / Army, and my son currently is a Lance Corporal in the Marine Corps.
No,
He's
Oh,
an
wow.
aviation mechanic. And
Nice.
the proudest moment for me was on his graduation day. I was still active. I'm in my full dress uniform beside him, and I got my dad on the other side of him.
Oh,
So 3
man.
generations of service members all together. And to think that there was 2 of us at one point in time serving in the military. While
Love
he's
that.
doing
Dude.
Marines, I'm doing Army. You know, it's pretty cool.
That's
awesome.
awesome, man. Yeah, that's awesome.
So now my son elevated. He's not just my son. He's now my brother in arms because of what he does. So that's pretty powerful.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just like what you saying with military and people that are police officers, how it just runs in the bloodline. Got Tim Placilla, who is a firefighter. His son's following his footsteps. He followed his father's footsteps. That's
cool.
It's awesome. Yeah. It's awesome, and it's one of those things that it's getting more rare and rare.
Unfortunately,
yeah. So you kind of cherish it more and more the more you see it. But yeah, it's you got a lot of fans on here, Shorty. So everybody's thanking you for your service. And it's great story you shared as well. Because I can only imagine how I would be like in a situation like that. And that's great. Any of you guys have any other questions for Shorty at all before we go on to our next guest?
Just curious, man, what kind of bike you ride?
Right now I got a 25 Heritage Classic.
Cool.
And
you got another bike too you're working on, right?
Here. This is what it's all about. Mary says, "Thank you for my freedom." Yeah, exactly.
Nice, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Yeah.
Chad, you got anything for him?
Any other thing you got to say to Shorty here?
Yeah. What's your favorite pastime now that you're out?
Well, obviously riding, and then I like tinkering, doing woodwork projects, things like that.
Cool.
Did you create Little Foreman? Or you bought them?
But I'm working on figuring out how to whittle one. It's gonna have like a cigar in his mouth because I need cigars from time to time too.
That's so cool when you put them in the pouch on the motorcycle.
Right?
That's awesome, bro.
It was a thing my wife got me.
To them here.
But it was a thing my wife got me, and as a joke, I started bringing them with me, and kind of like the Travelocity gnome. It just stuck, and so working on making his own page and things. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's great, man.
Yeah,
we'll see you take that.
Kind of looks like the gnome version of the Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
He's on a mission.
Harry's one of my biggest supporters too. One of my biggest supporters. He's got so many Anox shirts and everything. I apprient you, bro.
Thank you.
He's the best.
One other question for you. What's your favorite hatter? If you have one.
Like I said, I mean, I'm wide variety. The Sikorsky's are really nice. I've really gotten into a lot of the. I got a whole wall of Boston Scully. I mean, I think we've all pretty much covered Keith there. And I branched off to the Peaky hats. I really love the style of those. So that collection's starting to grow.
Do you like the solo style or the 8 panels?
I actually depends upon the color. I like them both.
Yeah.
So if I'm feeling the 8 panel, I rock that. And of course, you got to have the tilt, and then the solos. They're really nice, clean look. I like rocking them.
I like them. They kind of got that high and tight look,
Yeah, true, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, he rocks the Newsboys with the tilt, like I do.
I like doing that with the fedoras.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the Peaky hats too, man. So
yeah, I really like their solo style caps.
I agree. Yeah. I'm a huge fan of their solos for sure.
And then of course after the Mulligan episode, I was like, being he's former military and whatnot, I had to get one to support him, and I got to get one to look out to get.
Yeah.
Before he gets taken out by something in the woods. We don't know how much longer we're going to be able to buy from them.
Well, I mean, it's great. It's great when people don't know or never got it, and then from an episode of ours, they get introduced to it and they get motivated.
Yeah, that is so cool, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, Peaky Hat's watching now. They gave us a nice little pound.
What's going on, Peaky Hat? Ryan or Ryan 2.0, whoever that is. What's up?
Yeah. What's up, Ryan?
One of the Ryans.
All right, again, Shorty too. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your service, and thank you for supporting GRT as well.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for sharing everything.
All right, so our next guest is already in the lobby here. So, but yeah, a great story. I'm glad that he felt comfortable sharing stories like that. It's like I said, we're not trying to push it on anybody or anything like that. But our next guest, Kevin Keating, he's waiting in the lobby. We're going to go ahead and bring him on now. And Everybody give a warm welcome to Kevin here. Keats, we're going to teach by Keats. How you doing today, Kevin?
Doing very well. How
What's
is
up,
everybody?
Kevin?
How is
Keep
everybody?
knocking the Anox on box. House of Pain. There we go.
He's repping.
Loving that handlebar mustache. Cool.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, my military background is in 1980, I joined the Delaware National Guard, and my initial enlistment was in airport rescue firefighting. And I'd already been a volunteer firefighter 2 years prior to that. I joined when I was in high school. And then I owe so much to what the military did for me. First of all, I got outstanding training. So I was in from 80 to 86 in the Air Guard. I got out, had a couple senior guys try to talk to me about if you're not happy here, go to another shop, go to another guard unit. And of course, when you're 24 years old, you know everything. You don't listen to anybody. So I got out and, I missed it a lot. And then I was starting to, I had just got hired at a place called DuPont. I had been a UPS driver. And I remember my dad asking me, he goes, "What do you think?" And I'm like, "Pop, man, there's no old guys here." And he was so cool about it. He said, "Well, what do you think that tells you?" And he left it at that, didn't try to, steer me away or anything like that. It was a good union job. But I was like, man, I can't see doing 35, 40 years, delivering parcels all the time. So I ended up going to this place called DuPont. If you're not familiar with DuPont, at one time they had 28,000 employees in the state of Delaware. They were huge. They actually started like over 200 years ago making gunpowder. And then they were used chemical company, and then they kind of got out of chemicals and got into like a lot less hazardous stuff, but they're still around. So I ended up working for them starting in 84. And then in 1990, when Desert Storm kicked off, that kind of got me, fired up about going back in. So I got married in April of 90, and my father-in-law was a career infantry, and then was also down with the 3rd Infantry down at Arlington, Fort Myers.
I spent some time there at the Honor Guard.
Yeah, that he was in the honor. He wasn't at the cemetery. He was at the White House when they used to do the White House security before the Marine Corps
they
took
do
it
all that
over.
stuff for everything around there.
And then my wife's godfather, who is my father-in-law's brother-in-law, they were both career infantry, and they were both down at Washington together. So, we hit it off right away. Great guy. How many people get to say that your dad's really a good guy and your father-in-law's a really good guy? So I like, it was like, double coin there. I went back and I wanted to go back in the fire department in the Air Guard, and they, there was a waiting list. So they said, "Hey, we got this thing called aerial transportation, where you'll become a rigger for doing parachutes and, not personal shoots, but cargo shoots." So I did that for a while. It was really cool. Got to really do some really cool things. And, but I was really waiting for my chance to go back to the fire department. And that opened up, I think it was 99 or 2000. Might have been, 99 or 2000. Went back with those guys. And at the time, when you were in the Guard or Reserve, it truly was, 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. When September 11th happened, by the 12th, that went out the door. So in March of 2002, I had to go back to Goodfellow Air Force Base to recertify and rescue. So that was 3-week rescue class. So went down there, got my recertification done, came back, and everybody's volunteering to go everywhere. And it was crazy because we would have like the requests would come in like 8 o'clock in the morning. If you didn't have somebody that had your information ready to put you down, the spots were filled up. So in the meantime, Operation Noble Eagle had kicked off on the 12th of September, and that was for Homeland Security, and they had a big thing down in D.C. So I put my name in under that for what's known as Individual Mobilization Augmentee. So I got picked up for that. So I went down to Andrews Air Force Base. I was assigned, but I did all my actual work at the 175th Fighter Wing. They had just come, their A-10s had just come back from Afghanistan, and they were doing combat air patrol over the capital. So coming out of the Delaware Air Guard, we were the 166th Air Wing. We were Air Mobility Command. The 175th was Air Combat Command, and that was like a whole different world going down there working with those guys. And they had some couple incidents where, you know, people trying to get up to the A-10s. And then I'll tell you a real funny story. We were down there one day, and me and another guy were out on the flight line. We're doing standby. They had a bunch of A-10s every 2 hours. Two would leave, two would come back in. And we're at the standby position. And all of a sudden, we look over, and it looked like every police car in Baltimore County is like 20 feet away from us on the other side of the fence. What happened was a bus driver was in between runs, a school bus driver. He pulled over to take a little nap. Well, security down there was so tight, and he was right next to the automated system that the pilots get all their information for when they're taking off and landing. So right away, they thought, you know, something bad was going down. Yeah. So, of course, like being good firemen that we are, you know, we're nosy as hell, looking what's going on. You know, they get the SWAT team out there. And like I said, it looked like there was every cop in Baltimore County there. Some poor bus driver taking a nap in between school runs. I never laughed so hard in my life. And it was, you know, thankfully it wasn't anything ill. You know, there were some other things that went on that, you know, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about, but you know, it was a really interesting place to be. And I was lucky. I met some really great people. They drew people from all over the United States to there. And then right before Operation Iraqi Freedom kicked off, all the IMAs got called into a meeting with the base commander, and we're like, hey, well, just letting you know right now, if your orders go past, I forget what it was, the beginning of February, he said, we're extending you for the duration. You know, and they went around the room, and, you know, to everybody's credit, I don't think anybody there ever said, like, nah, you know, I can't do that. Mm-hmm. So I really wanted to stay, but my orders broke. And it was like a week later, Iraqi Freedom kicked off. So I went back, ended up doing just over 29 years. And the only time that we had a non-voluntary activation, I was due to go, and I was a master sergeant. And the two other master sergeants, they're like, hey, can we talk to you for a minute? And like, to their credit, it was a come to Jesus meeting. They're like, man, dude, isn't your wife kind of sick? I'm like, yeah, but, you know, I talked to her, and, you know, she wants me to go. And they're like, nah, dude, man, like, think about that. You know, you're going to be 7,500 miles away on the other side of the world. Something bad happens. So I'm glad I listened to those guys. I went and met with my commander, and he's like, you know, Sergeant Keating, I really appreciate that. He said, but, you know, the rule is if you don't go and you got enough time to retire, you got to retire. And I'm like, fair enough. And I'm telling you what, I am forever ingrateful to those two master sergeants, because my wife died 7 months later, and I would have been in, you know, either Iraq or Afghanistan. And, you know, when you deploy, they tell you, like, if you have a family emergency, we will try to get you home, but there's no guarantee. So, I mean, she went into the hospital on a Wednesday, and by Saturday she was gone. So if I would have deployed, I don't think I would have been back in time, and that would have fell on like two kids. and I would have never forgiven myself for that. Absolutely not. So, but yeah, like my big thing with the military is, I went in Air Force Fire School, one of the best fire academies around. And then because of all my certifications I got with the military through the Air Guard, I end up getting my dream job at DuPont. I worked there for 41 years, and a little bit more than 20 of it, I was in the firehouse. So I used to laugh all the time that, like, I go to work and I love what I do, and I keep waiting for somebody to pop out of the closet and go, aha, we knew you guys liked this too much. We're going to move you somewhere else. But, it wasn't. But, and again, a lot of that has to do with the training and the deployments and the people I met through the military that really set me up for when that job opened up. I was picked for it.
Awesome, man. Thanks for sharing all that. My condolences too.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was, my father-in-law grabbed me one time because, he goes, I know you're all pissed off about September 11th, especially with all the cops and firemen that were murdered. He said, but he goes, I'm going to lay it on the line. He said, man, you're 42 years old. He said, if they want you to go, you go. He said, but don't go poking the bear. And I respected him saying that because he was a guy that was 17 years old when the Korean War broke out, and he was already in the Army. So he got his first combat infantry badge there, got a Bronze Star for Valor there, and then he was like 35 years old when he volunteered to go to Vietnam in 65 with the Big Red One. So that was a guy that, really, he walked that path. So when he said that to me, I'm like, you know what? He knows better than I do. So I was glad I listened to him. So I was able to get one deployment for Noble Eagle. I really wanted to go to Afghanistan because that was directly related to September 11th. And I'm still pissed off about that, what happened, 3,000 people, but especially 343 firemen, 23 New York City cops, 37 Port Authority cops. And since then, there's been like almost 400 firemen have died from cancer from 9/11 up there. So, sorry, I'm getting a little off topic
you're fine.
here.
Talk about whatever you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man, that happened right in my backyard. I'll never forget coming home and turning down Metropolitan Avenue and not seeing the Twin Towers there. That was just crazy to think about.
Yeah, and it's especially it's the 250th anniversary, and now we got the 25th coming up for September 11th, and I mean, for all of us, military, civilian, or whoever, that were old enough to remember that, we have a responsibility to make sure that the younger ones coming up, that as part of that 250th, they remember what happened 25 years ago, because we lost a lot of people in Afghanistan and Iraq and other places because of September 11th.
Yeah, and now you mentioned how there was so many people enlisting after that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean,
I'll always remember where I was at that day. It's like,
Yeah. And the thing is like that devastation tragedy, it brought the country together. And I remember people having those flags on their cars. It was
every car, every car.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
You wonder, you wish it was still like that, like,
really.
You really need that now, for sure.
well,
we
like,
do need that now. Yes.
When I was down with the 175th, it was almost embarrassing because you'd be out like pumping gas or you'd be getting coffee or something like that. People are coming up, they're shaking your arms off your body, and I'm like, man, I'm not doing anything. I'm just making sure that the airplanes don't burn up. And they're like, man, we really appreciate everything you guys are doing. So it'd be nice if people kind of got that thank you back in them a little bit,
Yeah, I agree. And Keats, did you? Thank you for sharing your stories. First of all, that was
you're
pretty
welcome.
deep.
Definitely.
And again, a family bloodline
Yes,
type thing. But what I mean, what is about your favorite like patriotic themed caps? What are some of those you got?
Well, this one, if you see the one I got from Ammo and Quilts, the John Hancock.
Is that the one with the Declaration of Independence on the panel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I like that one.
When I contact him, he's like, "You're going to have to get in line," and I'm like, "Man, I'm never going to," And then I don't know, it was like a month later, I get this like email, "Are you still interested?" And I'm like, "Who do I send the money to?"
Yeah.
So this is by far my favorite patriotic cap. Now for military theme, I got one of the Boston Scallies, the grunt caps, and I really did that because my paternal grandfather left Ireland in 1916 and enlisted in the Army. Almost like we laughed at, like he got off of one boat and got on another boat and kind of went back. And he fought with, which is now the 2nd Infantry Division in World War I. I'm pretty sure they were the 23rd Infantry Regiment because his doughboy patch has the Indian Head Star, which is now the 2nd Infantry Division. So him and a bunch of his brothers and cousins, it's like 11 of them all came over here together, and they all enlisted in the Army. And they basically, went to training and then got on a boat and then went back. And then he fought in the Meuse-Argonne offensive in World War I. And he was like 27, 28 years old. So he was one of the older guys. Then my dad served in the Army as well. He served in the Pacific. He was in the combat engineers. And he used to tell us, oh, I was just a company clerk and stuff like that. Well, then like later on, like I started doing some research and I was like, yeah, those guys, those Pacific guys, everybody, was a shooter. So, and then most of my uncles that were old enough, they were all either Army or Army Air Corps. And then my mom's one brother was in the 90th Heavy Bombardment Group and was killed on June 6, 1945. And he had been over there for 3 years, and they were actually being rotated home. And him and 3 other guys were given the opportunity to leave a day early. So the bomber that they were leaving the Luzon and Philippine Islands took off, and they never knew what happened to it. So that always put a big thing on me. That's why I kind of went Air Force, because I always had this thing about military aircraft. And then with him being in that bomber group, and then, like I said, my father-in-law was career military, and I'm the only one in my family that's military. I'm the only firefighter, and which is funny because most firefighters, it's a family thing. I did have 2 cousins in North Jersey that were volunteer firefighters, but like nobody in my immediate family was in the military or in the fire service. So I was kind of like the oddball.
Right. Cool.
So, and then my military themed probably favorite cap is my Harley Davidson camo cap, because of I got sick last year and I got nerve damage in my leg, so I had to sell my
Starkowski one.
What's that?
I think it's a Harley.
Is that the
Harley
Starkowski?
I'm not sure what it is. I'd have to look at it.
Because I know
I think Harley
Starkowski
makes
sells
that.
a wax cotton camo one with a brown leather bill that I've been looking at.
Yeah,
I'm the Harley one, so Harley has their own brand of Scally
Yeah.
caps.
I got a couple Harley
Yeah.
flat
The
caps.
Starkowski one's called the Harley too. I thought maybe that was the one you
Oh,
were talking
it's
about.
called
Yeah.
the Harley, but this is
Yeah.
the Harley brand one, which
Okay.
you can't find the Harley brand
I-
camo one anymore. Like those have limited runs on them.
Yeah,
Like,
I
you
like
know.
some of those Harley caps, man.
Yeah,
I want to get one of
cool
those Starkowski ones in the
Yeah.
future.
yeah. I had to sell my bike in November or December because of my legs. I can't ride anymore. And
Sorry.
my bike's name was Lulu Bell, and man, that killed me to get rid of her. Holy cow.
That's a nice
So-
bike. I've seen that bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it was weird because a really good friend of mine from the military, his mom ordered that bike brand new from Harley. Then unfortunately she got breast cancer and she passed away. So he came to me, he goes, "Man, I know you always liked my mom's bike." He said, "You know, I'm gonna sell it." And at the time, like I think my daughter was like a freshman in college or something, and my son was like right behind her, and I'm like, "Man, dude, I really can't afford it right now." So a good friend of mine from the firehouse bought it, and then a few years later, he decided, you know, he had a Road King and the Heritage, and he decided he was just going to stick with the Road King. So I ended up getting the bike I always wanted, which was like kind of cool. Like the circle was completed by being able to get that bike.
Right.
Yeah. Me and Moose went to the Harley shop in Broken Arrow and made me want to buy a new bike, man. And Ant beat me to it. He got one, so I'm feeling left
bike
out.
looks nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were going back and forth between the Indian, right, and the Harley Dubs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like those
The
Indian
Indians are
Scouts.
nice
Those
too.
Scout
I do
bobbers.
too. Yeah, I wanted to
Indians
get a
got some
bobber.
nice bikes now.
Yeah.
The Scout Bobber is a very good bike to start off with, because you don't want to start
Yeah.
off with something too crazy, you know. It's
Yeah.
definitely a great bike to start off with.
I like that stripped down look too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so do I.
it's
I like the strip.
Well, that's why I like my Heritage. It kind of had that like look from that like 1950s motorcycle cop type of look to it,
right.
which I always
Exactly.
like, kind of like that thing.
All right. Keats, we appreciate you coming on. Thank you for sharing
Yes,
the story.
sir.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Appreciate
And,
it.
Thanks a lot, Keith.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
Love the stories.
Real quick, I got a real funny quick story.
All right.
You know, President Biden is from Delaware. So he would always come into the guard base. So when he was vice president, President Obama came in for his mother's funeral. So I was on like 4 days of active duty to support that. So the motorcade leaves and they said, yeah, they should be back around 2:00. It's like maybe like 12:30. And they call me on the intercom. They're like, "Master Sergeant Keating to the alarm room." So I'm in the ready position, which in the firehouse means you got a cup of coffee and your feet are up on the table. And I go down to the radio room. I'm like, "What's up, guys?" They're like, "Something's wrong. The motorcade's coming back." I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "They're coming in pretty hot," which means fast. So they go by the firehouse and the Beast, the one limousine that the president uses, it's blowing smoke. So they pull right into the engine bay at the firehouse. It overheated and caught the engine on fire. So I got two young firefighters. I got my hand on each of their shoulder, and they each got extinguishers, you know, and they're like chomping at the bit. I'm like, "Hold on, I don't want anybody to get shot here." And I asked the one Secret Service agent, I said, "Can these guys use these extinguishers to put that fire out?" And he's like, "Do whatever you got to do." And I actually got pictures of that somewhere. I'll have to dig up and I'll send to you guys. Because for the longest time, I'm like, I don't think I can post these anywhere because I'll probably go to jail or something. I don't know. Because like people at work, they're like, "Is that the president's limousine?" I'm like, there's always two of them, but that's the one. So
I never even knew it was called the Beast. That's funny.
yeah, they call it the
They call
Beast.
it
Yeah.
vehicle. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was my
Doesn't weigh so much.
my funny presidential story.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Thanks for
'cause we
sharing.
definitely
Thank you.
could
Thanks
use
for
that.
coming on.
Yeah.
Yes,
We
sir.
definitely
Thanks
could
a
use
lot,
that
brother.
story right now because it was definitely an enlightening. Thank you for sharing. That was funny. Yeah. Again, thanks for joining us, Keats. And
Thanks a lot, Keith.
yeah.
Take care, man.
We'll see you.
Thank you again. What a great guest that was. that story was pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was perfect timing because it was getting pretty serious there for sure. And
This
but
is
our
for
next
Chris.
guest we have waiting
Chris
in the
came
lobby.
on, told me to put on the cap the front way. So I'm going to show that for Chris Scotty.
So we got Casey
Put the
about to
wings
join
on the
us,
back then, bro.
and we're gonna go ahead and bring him on.
Good evening, gents. How
Aviator
y'all doing?
Mumbles.
How you doing?
sir?
Thanks for coming on.
What's going
I
on?
am Casey Old, aka Mumbles.
What's
That
up,
was my
Casey?
call sign in the Navy, and I thought, I asked the fellas in the squadron. I said, "Why Mumbles?" Well, they said, well, "Why not?" And call signs are kind of like, man, the more you fight it, the more they stick.
Yeah.
Well, initially I said, well, why do you guys call me that? And they were like, well, you imbibe some adult beverages quite a bit, and you're not the most articulate guy. So I said, okay, well that checks out. And then some guy said, well, you kind of look like a big wise guy, Mumble. He's a good fellow. All right.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
That checked out too. But then come to find out, man, these guys, this is how mean naval aviators are. Around the same time, this is early 2000s, that movie Crappy Feet or Happy Feet about the penguins. The main character was Mumbles, and he's like seeking his dad's approval. And that's what that's what I was based on. So
Nice.
basically you have to have pretty freaking thick skin. It's a lot of type A personalities. Pretty, and I was very blessed to get to do it for a little bit. But thanks for having me on. This was kind of a short fuse deal.
Yeah, thanks for coming on short notice. I didn't know you were in the military until I had seen your Top Gun, Boston Scally Top Gun cap review, and then he proceeded to say where he was in the military. So,
Cool.
Yeah, this particular cap, big shout out to Boston Scally, Pete in the PR department. Because I wrote him a letter. I said, hey, it's pretty awesome. I said, I'd like to, while this drop happens, we all know the hysteria around these Friday afternoon drops. And, Moose, you got the 250th on, which is, man, that's a sharp looking cap, by the way. I really like that.
Thank you.
But a couple Fridays ago, I got an email and a voicemail from a guy named Pete. Boston Scally said, "Man, I'd like to send you this hat complimentary based on what you told me about your dad and your granddad. My granddad actually wrote a report at the tail end of Vietnam. Basically, it was an assessment of the Navy's poor performance in air combat, fighting against very cheaply made Soviet-built MiGs, but they were being flown very well by the North Vietnamese Air Force. And quite a few of our jets were getting attrited, and they basically, like in the first movie 40 years ago, they kind of touch on it that they had to get back to basics as far as air combat maneuvering goes, and started the school out in San Diego, California. So my grandfather, World War II vet, actually both grandfathers were in the Pacific. Both of them spent some time floating in the Pacific. One was shot down in a SBD dive bomber, which was made famous at Midway. He was a radio gunner, and Japanese Zero was going to strafe him in the chute. Anyways, he survived the war, went back home, and he worked in the mills in a little town in the Allegheny Mountains in Pennsylvania. And he was a postman, and he was actually my first Scally influence. He wore them every day. My Pop Krig. They called him Blitz Krig. And he was like 30 years old when Pearl Harbor, so he was like an old man. So they called him. The other grandfather was actually, he was an Annapolis grad. When the war started, they accelerated the midshipman, so he graduated Annapolis a year early. And he was waiting to class up to go to flight school, and they said, "No, we're gonna send you to a heavy cruiser. You're gonna be a surface warfare guy out in the Pacific." So he became the turret officer on a cruiser, and he was involved in probably the most lopsided defeat the U.S. Navy's ever suffered. It was a nighttime engagement, and the Japanese kicked the shit out of us. Basically, the naval battle of Guadalcanal, Iron Bottom Sound is what they call it. And he was on the USS Astoria, and so the ship basically was all man overboard. You know, everybody abandoned ship. They gave the order, and they were picked up that evening. But they had to scuttle the ship. That grandfather ended up going, getting his wings at the very tail end of World War II, and then Korea came along. He flew A-1 Sky Raiders, basically transitioned to jets, then flew everything in the 1950s. Air Wing Commander, and then he was not a very politic guy. He was very abrasive and you know, old school. And you know, he was told, he was like, "Hey, Frank, you're never going to make admiral, which is why you're the man to write this report. We need somebody that's going to it's not going to sugarcoat anything to write this report and be as brutally honest as you can." And so one of the things that came out of that was Top Gun, which you know, they started that in 1968, and by 1972 the Navy's kill ratio had improved quite dramatically. So yeah, so then my dad, you know, he ended up following in his dad's footsteps. My dad started off in the F-4 Phantom, which was a big, mean-looking jet, Vietnam era. Then he got to transition to the mighty Grumman F-14 Tomcat in like the year I was born, 76.
Nice.
And that thing was like the freaking King Kong fighter. And so I'm wearing my Tomcat, anytime baby. Nice. This is actually the one of the Boston Scally pins that come in the set.
Oh, that comes with the Top Gun cap?
Yeah. And,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
the pins that sold out in 20 minutes or something like that.
Yeah. Moose can complain about that.
Well, you know what, man, I picked up a couple sets myself, but you know, I've given a couple away. I actually, you know, I'm not one to kiss ass, but I actually, my boss is a former submariner. And he was a missile boat, ballistic missile submarine captain, and he's like no nonsense type of guy. And I was like, man, but he's a golfer, and you know, he's bald, and I'm like, man, he needs a cap, he needs a Scally cap, and he actually went to school in Boston, Tufts, I think, and so I left that on his desk. So hopefully he likes the Top Gun cap, you know, submarine guy. But anyways, yeah, so my dad actually attended Top Gun late 70s, and yeah, my dad was he lived that type of life, and we moved around the country an awful lot. It's kind of tough growing up as a military. They call you a Navy brat. You know, you grow up. It was tough to adjust. Yeah, man, I don't know. I moved up from South Texas. My dad was a squadron commander in a jet training squadron down there, and we moved up to Northern Virginia the middle of my junior year in high school. And you talk about a culture shock, you know, going from South Texas to right outside of DC.
Yeah.
You know, but it kind of comes full circle, man. It's funny like that because, you know, so I ended up getting to go to officer candidate school just before, you know, this is February of 01. So by the time September 11th happened, man, I was in ground school in primary flight school outside of Pensacola, Florida. And very vividly remember that day. I can't get over that. You know, it's been 25, a quarter of a century, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's so crazy to think about.
And yeah, I mean, that was right in your backyard. I'm sure you probably saw the plumes and everything.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Just, I mean, I remember, you know, I remember everything about that. You know, my brother lives on Newkirk Avenue in Brooklyn, man, and I'm coming up this weekend. He's about half a mile south of Prospect Park. So, but anyways, you know, walking that neighborhood, there's a firehouse right there of guys that responded.
Yeah.
and it's just insane. You know, but so yeah, fast forward. You know, I'm sitting in flight school. I didn't select jets, you know, so I didn't get the most glamorous aircraft. I flew P3 Orions, which is like a Cold War era submarine hunter surveillance aircraft, but I loved it. It's kind of a throwback, old school turboprop. I mean, you know, people would take it to air shows and they'd say, "Was that a World War II bomber?" I'd say, "No, it came out a couple of years after World War II." But you know, we actually had some pretty sophisticated avionics and whatnot. And at one point, it was actually a nuclear-capable aircraft to be able to drop nuclear depth charges. You know, obviously, we didn't train to that by the time I was in on it. But I remember flying a couple old airplanes, and the master armament panel up front still had special weapon switch. So I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool."
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's been 25 years since not that long. Last time I flew a P3 was 2010, something like that. So it's been a minute, but yeah, I got to, you know, I didn't get to go to the sandbox active duty. You know, I can say that I'm a campaign ribbon wearing veteran, global war on terror. But what's funny is I never went to Iraq or Afghanistan active duty. I had to wait until I got out as a contractor, and I started flying what's called ISR, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance missions, flying King Airs out of Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan. And anybody that saw the movie Rambo 4, when he's running around the Soviet air base there in Afghanistan, that was Bagram. So it's been a pretty good deal of my, you know, 4 years or so there, but you know, got to go all over the place. I don't know, from about 2012 to 2017, something like that. So, you know, that was fun. Got to do that for a couple of years, and then I just had to take a knee. So now, you know, I still work for, you know, as a military contractor, but I'm out of the flying game.
Yeah, that's something else I like when, say, Boston Scally, who does the Deem caps, like, they'll do a cap that speaks directly to you, and that's when you can't pass it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's good about Boston Scally still, you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And, you know, as much of a ration of shit that I've given Boston Scally for like the slush puppy and freaking Mutant Ninja Turtle. I mean, they were. I've heard Moose say this. This was the gateway drug, and you know, and I blame my lovely partner Lynn. This beautiful lady here, the lovely Lynn.
Hi.
Here she is.
What's up, Lynn?
What's
Hey,
up, Lynn?
what are you smoking, Lynn? But she got, okay, so we're gonna have her model a few of her favorites.
Oh my God.
If you guys will indulge us, you know, we like to ham it up a little bit with our scally caps.
Yeah, no, he's getting into all the different ones now. He's on all the pages.
I think that's why I love the cap collecting community. I've kind of embraced it, man, because you know, we are both neurodivergent people, neurospicy, and man, the cap collecting community is like the biggest collection of oddballs I've ever met in my life.
It's like a bunch of
so like, man, I fit right in, and I love it. You know,
definitely entertaining.
But she got me my first Boston Scally. We don't even.
Here's the lucky.
Oh no, well it's the Black Lucky. No, I didn't.
Yeah, it's all right.
Anyways, yeah, man. I thought, man, she really likes me. She got me a Scally cap, and then I was just kind of bitten by the bug, and I didn't realize, you know, the diversity, all the different. I mean, I had no idea what a 6-panel duckbill was from an 8-panel from a freaking Ivy. I had no idea. I did not know anything, and but you know, from that I've kind of graduated into Strakowski, Stetson's now, thanks to you, Ant, Mukros, you name it.
Yeah, people blame me that their wallets are getting broken.
Oh man. Well, not only that, but I'm running out of real estate, man.
That's it.
There's only so much space on my walls, and I got that freaking hat tree up in my my junk room.
Somebody put it on their wall and they start their wall collection. I'm like, that's not even worth it because then they ain't gonna have enough walls. You know what I'm saying?
So
they stop that now.
And you're starting a whole Stetson army, dude. You have a whole
Stetson army.
I'll tell you what, those Hatteras are gorgeous, and I've just gotten a couple in the last week or so. But that Shelby, the denim Shelby from Strakowski dropped today, and that's like the heavyweight.
I got the black denim Shelby from Strakowski. It's one of my favorite hats.
Yeah, and
Japan denim with the Jack Dempsey lining. It's awesome, man.
Jack Dempsey and Gene Tunney, and I did not know the whole story with that, and so I had to read it. And what an incredible 1926 is when that fight went down.
Yeah. And you'll never see a fight like that ever. With the seas of people in the crowd, like you don't see that many people at a boxing match anymore. It's crazy what it was back then.
What was that? What was that venue at? Because I was like, is that Soldier Field or where is that?
Yeah, it was Soldier Field.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang. Yep. Okay. Wow.
So we don't even really have stadium boxing matches anymore. They're all in arenas now.
Yeah. Or freaking Caesars, or
something like that. Yeah.
So appreciate you guys having me on.
Thanks for coming on.
I feel like in the military, we say I feel like I'm just the FNG, the fudging new guy. I really am. I'm just I'm still learning about this whole community. But yeah, I I think we both really embraced everything about it. And Lynn has told me, she says, she goes, I think you're just really you love fabric. You love the
I love fabric.
You love the.
I was like, I think you love fabric.
You love the tactile sensation,
Texture,
right?
The weave.
I like that too.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, but it was because of you. You gave me the appreciation for that. You really did.
I just pointed out what I.
Ant, I'm watching you the other day. You had that white seersucker cap.
Oh yeah.
Man, that was.
And I was like, I never knew what seersucker was in my life. It's so recently.
I didn't know what herringbone was until I got into caps. Never knew.
Abraham wool and all that.
Donegal, Abraham wool. Hair.
304.
Yeah, I had no idea. But, so what's this plant in Japan that makes this super special denim? Kuroki.
Yeah, this is the first I'm hearing about.
Supposed to be coming out.
That came out earlier today. That dropped that cap. It's
and,
cap.
Oh man, I haven't even seen it yet.
And
Keith, one of the credits on there.
Keith Minar was, he posted something about how it's a dying craft, and these artisans, man, Japan and South Korea, man, are an aging population anyway. But these people in this corporate knowledge, these master dye people and the people that run these looms that are like over 100 years old, they are not able to impart this knowledge to the youth. So that's kind of sad,
200-year-old looms and all that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is sad. Yes.
I just stuck it in my cart.
Yeah, there's two of them, Chad. There's the one that's the heavyweight,
the leather trim brim. I like that one.
And then there's the Buster. The Buster is an old one.
That's the Ivy. The Ivy flat panel is the Buster.
The Buster, yeah.
And supposedly that sold out before the damn Shelby.
Yeah, that sold out. I think in a lot of sizes first. Yeah. Well, it's got a better price
They
point.
got every size of it right now at the
Yeah.
Shelby.
The Shelby still in stock, Chad?
They have every size of the heavyweight
Yeah.
Shelby.
Yeah,
It's the
I
Buster.
think that's a higher price point. But you know what I always say, man, it's probably worth 4 of another brand's caps. You know what I'm saying? I'm not
Right,
gonna,
right.
you know. So
All right, Casey. Well, we appreciate you sharing your stories. And again, we have another generational military, and great to see, great to hear, and thank you for sharing, and thank you for joining us here at GRT. We
Thank you
appreciate
so
the
much.
support.
Thank you,
Thanks,
sir.
man.
It's been an honor. Thank you.
All right, sir. Have a
Thank
great
you.
night.
Appreciate it.
have a great night.
All right, so our next guest we have waiting in the lobby, we have Todd. We're going to go ahead and bring Todd on here. Well, hello, Todd. How are you doing today, sir?
Thanks.
Todd
What's up,
went in the
Todd?
flesh.
Hey, sorry about that. I got held up at a family function.
No problem,
and,
brother.
had some
You're right
issues
on
that came
time,
up
man.
and just jumped on as
Yeah.
quick as I could.
No, you're right on time.
Yeah, right on time.
Okay.
So go ahead
How's
and
everybody
explain
doing
us.
this evening?
Go ahead. You want to share a couple stories with us and explain us what your favorite patriotic caps
Can you hear
are?
me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you able to hear
Yeah.
us?
Yes.
Okay. Good deal.
I think I can hear you all.
Moose,
Can you hear
Todd.
Moose?
Can you hear me, Todd?
No,
I don't
I can't
think-
hear him.
Okay.
I don't
all
think
right.
he can hear
Go
you,
ahead and take it
Moose.
away from me, bud.
Go ahead, Dubs. Take it away. You want to set him up, Dubs?
Do
I
what
still
now?
can't hear him. No, I still can't hear him.
Take Moose's spot, Dubs.
Can you hear me, Todd? Can you hear me?
No worries.
Can you hear me,
Hold on.
Todd?
How about
He's going
He's
in and
frozen.
out. He's frozen. He's going in and out on my audio.
Oh shit. Can you hear Jack? Can you hear you?
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, go ahead,
I guess you aren't able to hear the other guys. Why don't you tell us a little about your service and what hats you like?
Service, U.S. Navy, 10 years, February of 01 through March of 2011. Went in initially undesignated. Didn't know what I wanted to do. It was kind of the kiss of death, but fortunately my scores were high enough and I was able to select what I wanted to do. And struck corpsman. And after boot camp, made my choice to go corpsman. So I got to stay up at Great Mistakes for another round and go through corps school up there, just north of Chicago. And then from there, out to Pendleton for field med and TCCC, which is Tactical Combat Casualty Care. And then was with 15 MU there, which is Marine Expeditionary Unit. And they sent me over, got orders for to go over to Pensacola and do SAR. So I went through SAR training, kind of bounced between Pensacola and Jacksonville for that training, then up to Benning for the jump, then back down, and then back out to Pendleton with the Marines. 15 MU jumping out of the back CH-47, which is
Both
the
my
double
parachute
rotor.
jumps are out of Chinooks also, because I was stationed
Sorry?
down in Panama.
Okay. So yeah, just in the back of a frog, basically. As
Like
we
a
call
flying
them.
cattle truck.
Yeah. So then kind of mid 03 to 04, I was in the box. Did 14 months and 4 days on a back-to-back rotation over there. And then came home, went to Panama in 05.
Where were you there?
That's pretty much all I can say about Panama.
Oh, okay. I was stationed down there. I was part of Operation Just Cause. I was with the first 508 down there.
Got you. Okay.
I was stationed at both Clayton and Fort Kobe.
Okay. Panama, what was the name of that small town? Where was the joint task force? We were on basically a plateau in the middle of the jungle that
We had Fort Sherman.
No, we were out in the jungle.
Okay.
I'd say we were out in it. And it was a JTF out there. And so after that, came back, and 06, I got picked up with the Fleet Hospital Great Lakes unit as an IA over to Landstuhl, Germany. Got to spend 13 months there on the west end of Kaiserslautern into Landstuhl. So I lived on the west end there in Vogelway, and worked at the hospital overseeing the wounded coming from downrange. Took 2 flights downrange while I was there. Spent some time down in Kabul, and then also where was the other airstrip there flying out of? Just jumped out of my head. I apologize, but anyways, we flew into went to the 2 different hospitals trying to get some things coordinated, and just spent some time there. It wasn't for very long. It was like 4 to 6 days each time. And then after I came back, I went in the reserves for a couple of years and was with a unit here on the East Coast. We were based out of Williamsburg, and another MEU. And it wasn't when we were going to get, if we were going to get called, but it was more of a when. We were on a 48-hour notice, and my 10 years came up, and I looked at my wife and we had a discussion. I'm like, listen, I said, if I go any longer, I'm staying for the full 20.
Right.
And she's like, you've done enough. Because, it's kind of one of those, been there, done that. In that rotation in the box, it was 7 months in the 47 and then 7 months on the ground. So sorry, dog in the background. But then came back and I got out in 2011 after 10 years. So that's pretty much sums that up. Kind of been there, done that. Got some things to show for it, but that's about it.
Can he hear you, Doug?
Favorite caps? I've got 4 actually. Obviously, I'm wearing the ammo and quilt.
Yeah, I like that one. That's a handsome cap.
Yeah, it's a nice cap.
I might have been a little too picky with Fritz on this, but God bless him. I kind of had something in mind when he sent me the first one, and it wasn't quite what I was thinking, and so we just kind of talked about it and kind of gave him a little bit of things that I would like to see in the cap, and he came back with, I mean, it's a knockout. And
Don't tread on me.
I don't know if you can
That's
see
nice.
it very well, but
Don't tread on me. Panel's nice.
I mean, it is a beautiful John Hancock.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, each one of those is a unique piece.
He really knocked out of the park with this one. The others that I picked up, I think Chris is doing a great job of Funky Brims, and so I like his 1996 with that they put out. This is the Newsboy patch Newsboy that they did. And then
I love a lot of those collabs I drew with Hales. I've got some really nice ones.
Yeah.
They're really kicking out some nice caps.
So that one, and then I did get the flat patch.
Okay.
Which is a banger.
That cap looks good on you too.
Thank you. I don't wear a lot of flat caps. I've kind of drifted more into the Newsboys. Heard y'all talking about the Cirque drop that happened today. And by the way, the busters have all been restocked. Last I checked. So all sizes are available.
Nice.
And then the last one was kind of a gift. I don't know if you call it a little shout out to buddy of mine, Rod. You all know him.
Mm-hmm.
With
Craft, yeah.
Having his grandson Monty ringing the bell this past week, which was awesome.
That's awesome.
And
Very much, yes.
Yeah.
Pretty strong,
and
baby.
he had I had done some things, and he felt that he needed to gift me, and he kind of paid it forward to me with his Top Gun out of BSC. So
Cool.
it kind of reminds me of the workshop that they do
Yeah.
with the different panels on it, but it is kind of unique in its own way.
Yeah.
So those are my four better or worse top caps for my 4th of July and the 250. And it's gonna be interesting this year to see how things go. I hope they go off without a hitch, but I just hope they do.
Yeah.
Understand that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear me
Yeah.
or not, guys, but if you guys want to
I
go ahead and
can't
ask me
hear
a couple
anybody.
questions.
You can hear me, can't you?
Can
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
All right, well, tell me what you want, and
Yeah,
I'll
he
relay
can't
it to
hear
them.
me.
Any
No,
other questions?
I
That's fine.
don't know. Can they hear me? Give me a thumbs up. If you can
Yes,
hear me.
they can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about the dog. I've got a big boy. You can hear him. Somebody must be out front. He's a Connick or so, and he's about 3 years old and about 145 pounds. So sorry about that, y'all.
No, you're good. You're good.
That's all right. I'm a dog lover. I
That's
don't mind.
life in the house. You can kind of see his pen. My office kind of shares spot with his pen. So here, I'm gonna.
I'm a retired animal warden, so I love animals, all animals. What kind of dog is it? What kind of dog is it you have?
Well, I've got the big one is Cane Corso.
Okay.
He was asleep back here on his bed. We've got he's got in his pen an old twin mattress. It's not actually that old, but it's a twin mattress that we put a cover and a blanket on, and that's his bed. I mean, he takes every bit of it up. And then we've got two little rescues. One's a rat terrier. She's about 11 years old. She's kind of the queen of the house, all of maybe 15, 20 pounds. And then her muscle is our border collie, Bella, and she's 6. She's all about 35 pounds. So
Nice.
so yeah, she's kind of the alarm in the house. Finn was just kind of happened to be up by the front door, but usually Bella's the alarm and Finn's the FAFO.
My German Shepherd, you can only see his feet, but he's laying by the front door. And
Yeah.
I think dog is made here.
But Finn's paws are every bit as big as my hand, if not bigger. And if you know anything about the Corso, he could literally snap my arm in half if he wanted to without thinking about it.
Big dog related to the Neapolitan Mastiff.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but Chad, if you want to go ahead and ask if you guys anyone else want to say, but thank you
that's
for
kind of me in a nutshell. I'm married for 28 years. I have 2 kids. My son, thank you. He's 21, and his girlfriend just celebrated her 25th birthday today.
Nice.
So that's kind of where we are, and my daughter's 19, soon to be 20.
What state are you located in?
We're just north of Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
Up and coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a few around me. I've caught up with a few of the guys that I've met through the different pages and everything. Walker's here and coming. So D-Dub Walker. You guys probably see him on the pages. Good guy.
Yeah, he's on the show.
Yeah.
And then just some of Lolly. His son performs all over the place down here. Sings and plays in the band and everything. And so, yeah, I met up with him and watched his son perform and shared a few beverages and got to know him and his wife, and that was fun. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice. The meetups are cool. The community meetups.
It's a nice, cool 93 degrees.
Yeah, but my central air is out right now, so it's over 90 degrees in my house. I'm just dying. We have a new unit being put in tomorrow.
God bless you. I know there's a big heat wave going through even the Midwest right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we've only got about 75% humidity. So it's hot and sticky on the outside. My wife thinks we keep our house like an ice box. So
I
I
went
like
through
that.
basic training in
That's
AIT
what
down
I'm
at
doing.
Fort Benning,
Okay.
Georgia, through the summer, so I know how
Oh,
hot humid it can get down there. You,
Yeah, so you could relate.
yes,
Yeah. I was fortunate, just I went through boot and everything right. I think it was in the fall, summer to fall, because it went, from boot camp to corps school
sure.
there at Great Lakes. So that was, late spring into the fall time. So it was a good, decent time to be up there. But and then out to Pendleton. That was perfect timing on that because I was pretty much out there for the winter.
Yeah, I started basic training. It was May 21st, and then for infantry, the basic and the AIT, it's OSIP. It's all one unit training, and so you go through with the same class. And we graduated in August, and it was hot as hell. And then we had to go to Airborne school, and it was hot as hell. And
Oh yeah,
Georgia's a
Reminds
hot
me of the
place,
movie
but
Biloxi
then
Blues.
I ended up getting stationed in Panama, which is even hotter. So
yeah. Well, um, it was kind of funny when we flew over to go into the box. The we had to stop over in Ireland to fuel, and we had to get off, and so we're just kind of hanging out in the airport, and it's like 2 a.m. there because they fly in at night, and get back on the plane. It's nice and cool, and all of a sudden, it just started getting really warm inside the plane, and it's just like, did y'all turn the AC off or something? And they're like, yeah, we're supposed to. So that way, it's not as a huge shock to when we open up the door, because when you land over there and you unload, you unload right onto the tarmac,
yeah,
and you step to that door, and it's like a blast furnace in your
yep.
face, and it's, yeah, I mean, it was 134 degrees, I think, when we got in. It was, the middle of the night. So yeah, it was a little warm. Um, so yeah.
Chad, you want to go ahead and wrap this one up for me, bud?
sure.
I hope I answered all your questions.
Yes, you've answered them all. We really appreciate you coming on, and thank you from all of us very much for your
Yes.
service.
Thank you for,
Yes.
for
Wow,
yours as
brother.
well, and everybody else that supports the military. You know, I wouldn't be
Nice to
here if
see
it
we have
wasn't
so
for my
many veterans
family.
in the community.
Yeah. All the veterans. I mean, and it's just not the veterans; their spouses, their families.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They're all a part of it. And it's just it's kind of funny because I run into people that were in with me, but years ago, and we pick up when we see each other, like we haven't missed a beat.
Right.
So
Yeah,
and it's just right back into the same cutting up on each other, and you guys know you bust each other's balls more than anybody else does.
Oh
So
yeah. Yeah.
if you got thin skin, you will not make it.
It was funny. That was one of the things I had to get used to when I got out of the service and stuff. Was hanging out with some of my civilian friends. It took me a little while to ease back on them. Because they weren't used to you know what I mean. The stuff you say to your
Oh,
friends in the army. The
yeah, I
civilians are
mean,
kind of like, what the fuck?
But,
That was
yeah.
kind of harsh.
well, Chad, you've been
So
kind of
being
nice to
over
the
at launch
Navy
school,
guys and the
I
Air
was
Force guys
there elbow to
today.
elbow with a lot of Army folks. We had, the patients would fly in from downrange into Ramstein, and then they would get transported on basically the old school buses that had, like you see on MASH,
Yeah.
the patients coming in,
Yeah, yeah.
still doing them, still using them. School
Wow,
buses that are painted green with a white circle and a red cross in the middle of it. And I'm just like,
wow,
really?
that's
We haven't
300 minutes.
graduated beyond this yet? you know? And so, yeah, it was, that was interesting. In my time over there, in the 13 months that I was in launch school, we had over 10,000 that I personally saw that come through there as wounded.
Wow.
So quite a lot of people. I was a team lead in what they call the Deployed Warrior Medical Management Center, so the DWMIC, as it was known, and that was my job. I oversaw all the wounded coming from downrange. Worked with bed manager, triage nurse, and doctor to find out, who's going to be the primary care. If it's ortho, if it's ICU, or whatever, and get them situated.
Nice.
So,
We got somebody in the comments requested to see your Corso.
oh, let me see if I can get him over here. Finn, come.
They have one also.
Come here. Come on, let's go. Let's see if I can get him to walk over to his. Come here. All right, he's not going to, so I'll have to go to him. See if y'all can see him.
Pets and little kids are always the hardest thing to get on film.
Hey, there he
Can
is.
y'all see him?
Yep, we can see him.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, we lose him?
There he is. Nice. He looks like a gorilla.
Boy. Yeah, okay, here he is. There we go.
Beautiful.
He's a dark black. He's called Black Brindle.
Yeah, he's beautiful.
So
I always think they look like a gorilla when they have their ears cropped like that.
he's a big boy.
Yeah.
A big baby, actually. Unless you don't know him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's okay. I lost y'all, I think.
Oh, I can hear you still.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
I can't hear anybody.
Hey,
Can you hear me?
Hello.
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 All right, we're gonna go ahead
Can you hear me
and
now?
Todd, can you hear us?
Can
First
you
of all,
hear
Todd,
us?
if you can't hear us, thank you for your service. When you go
Hey.
to rewatch us,
Yeah.
Thank
Hello.
thank you for everything.
I hate that I missed what he said in the beginning, but I appreciate him coming on.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Yes.
All right, so we have our final guest is waiting in the lobby here, and we got Keith. Let's go ahead and bring Keith to the gentleman's roundtable. How you doing, sir?
Thanks for coming on, Keith.
What's up, Keith?
What's
Hey
going
guys,
on?
how's it going?
Oh man, you got the Hales background going and everything.
Got the
Yeah.
flannel on too.
Yeah.
Looking
I've
good.
been looking for this one. I finally was able to work a deal on it, so it's one of my favorite. So
What shirt is that?
it's a short sleeve, so I can wear it in Florida for a little while.
The Cruiser, yeah.
Dude, I could never manage to get a Hell's flannel.
Yeah.
So props to you. Yeah.
Looks good. I like
Yeah.
that one. I like the color.
And then the guy I don't know hooked me up with this the nice Hell's Marine
Yeah, it's
Corps,
cool
the
strap on.
Semper Fidelis
Oh, the Semper Fidelis, yeah.
cap.
So can you hear all of
I'm
us?
trying to work on him something to kind of pay him back, but there's just good people in this group that we deal with.
We got a troll.
They do some awesome things.
Okay.
Y'all are kind of looking for Patriotic, our favorite, and I'm shorthanded. There's two caps that hadn't made it yet, but they're coming. But I guess my most patriotic is, of course, the like a lot of people, the John Hancock that Ammo and Quelch put together, and just a fabulous job. And I love it.
Cap.
And I saw the part 2, I guess, that came out that had the "Don't Tread on Me" portion on it, which is awesome as well. And then
It's a great looking cap.
buddy of mine at the Glad Hatters, there's just
Glad
came out
Hatters,
the two different ones. This one's the Liberty, and I'll get a lot of wear out of this one down here in Florida because it's just lightweight. It's really, really comfortable.
What are those side panels? Are they striped or herringbone?
It's see if I can get it up close.
It's kind of
It's
cool.
like a herringbone with
Yeah.
it's a flag type deal. You've got blue at the top, and then it goes red and white on down.
I like that. That's
Oh,
cool.
okay.
It's
Yeah.
kind of the flag
Cool.
there. So the herringbone kind of make the stars in there. So it's a pretty neat design, and
Yeah, it is.
did a really great job with that. And they just
I
great
almost wonder
pins. I
what that
love
would
their
look like
pins.
with a pair of those old school 3D glasses with the red and blue.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a cool
Exactly.
fan.
Yeah, you kind of
Cool fan.
stare at it and you get a little
Yeah,
cross-eyed.
it kind of has that effect on your eyes.
But so you don't drink and stare at the cap. You're good. And of course, they did their nice nice bags that they do.
Yeah.
And
That's
Nice.
cool.
Yeah.
but they did a flat cap as well, the Patriot, which is beautiful. I didn't get that one, and
That'd be a cool T-shirt design.
I may have to
Yeah.
do that. But those are my two favorite. Little shout out. I told Ryan today, we were emailing back and forth because I was trying to figure out, if I was going to have the pinkies here before the 4th, and he said, yeah, we're working on it, and this, that, and the other. And I said, well, I didn't see the message on the expediting the shipment. I said, I don't mind paying whatever it is to get them here. He goes, no, I've already done that. He said, I've gone through, and that's what he was doing today, going through and taking care of some people to try to make sure that their cap's got the best possibility of getting there before the 4th. And and then I purchased one of the 250 anniversaries, and I don't know if I'll get one or not. I had my order done at about 11:45, and got my email at about 8 till, but supposedly after inquiring today, I found out that most of my stuff is back ordered. So anyway, we'll see how that goes. And it's all good. I only got one head and a bunch of caps, so. And then I guess the most military cap, I said, there's so many out there. And I've owned several of them and kind of landed on the Dorchester. And I just like the green. I like the fit. The grunt was just I guess it felt more Army than Marine Corps. Personally, it's kind of like the same thing with the some of the other ones that have come out. I guess when you lived in camouflage for several years, you just kind of get tired of it.
Yeah.
But we had the old Woodlands back in the day. June 4th, 1986 was when I graduated from Parris Island, and so that may date me a little bit. I look younger than I am, but that's a good thing. And I'll kind of go into that date a little bit later. But I've got hadn't been a year being into the caps and stuff, but learned a lot, met a lot of great people, met Anoxers right off the bat. And it was funny because I had ordered a Guinness shirt to go with some of the stuff, and it was just, of course you get it from overseas and you get it in finally, and it's a little smaller than what you realized, and so it fit him well. And
Yeah, he sent me the Guinness shirt.
so just
Oh.
great community.
Cool.
I never was going to get into the flannel shirts, and I've got into that by means of Michael and the boys over at the Glad Hatters, and they're dangerous, but super great people. And it's just, you just keep meeting more and more people. I've watched y'all. Scary. I've got a lot in common with Chad, which kind of scares me, but even though I was a Marine Corps, I went through Fort Benning in the fall of '88. And so
I went through summer '87, so pretty close.
Okay.
Yep.
And cause I started out, and basically I went away to college. I was bored. Came home for the summer, taking some classes, and I was just bored. And my best friend, his brother was a recruiter for the Marine Corps, and so he went in right off the bat, right out of high school. And he was home for a couple of days. He was in between, I think, a school and his regular duty station, and we kind of hung out a little bit and talked, and I kind of inquired a little bit. And so I said, I'm gonna go see the recruiter. And next thing you know, I'm at the MEP station up in Montgomery, Alabama, and
How old were you when you enlisted? Then 19, 20?
and 19.
19.
And so it was crazy because I had just a wonderful recruiter, Sergeant Tony Williams. I was his very first Pool E recruit that he put in, but he was so excited when I called him from MEPS and said, yeah, I went ahead and, we're going to do the delayed entry because I want to finish, the classes I've already paid for and this, that, and the other. And so I'm going to go in the spring. And he was good with that. And so I get home, and if you ever got in trouble with your parents and they're sitting there in the living room waiting on you to get home, that was my parents. And come to find out, my mom was just almost in tears, and she was like, what is this about the Marine Corps? I said, what do you mean, what is this? They said, well, we had a gentleman, Sergeant Tony Williams, called us up and said, congratulations, your son is a United States Marine. I said, thanks, Tony. So anyhow, I had a great master sergeant there running the recruit station, and they had a program back then where the parents could actually go and visit Parris Island and go on a tour and things like that. So they were able to work that, and Mom and Dad went and fell in love with it, and they were good. And so I ended up going away to that, and it was funny. I was, probably 3 weeks from graduation, where you either get right at that point before you go out in the field for a week, and then you've got, final inspection and you rest your uniforms and blah, blah, and then graduation. That's pretty much it. So you either get mess duty or grass cutting and, lawn care and stuff for a week. And so we ended up with mess duty I was in 1st Battalion, so we were at the 2nd Battalion Chow Hall, which was the one where all the new recruits come in at night. And we were doing breakfast one morning, and all of a sudden I said, I saw my brother, and I was like, what the heck? And so, I run around behind the counter, and of course, we would always get the good cereals like the Apple Jacks and stuff like that and hide them. And so the only thing that was out there was like Rice Krispies and cornflakes. And so I started shoving stuff on his tray, and he didn't recognize me. And so I take my paper hat off and stuff, and I said, hey, and he's like, you're going to get me in trouble? I said, oh, you'll be all right. We were at that point where, we were able to, the drill instructors had started toning it down a little bit, so we were able to have conversations with them and stuff. And so at lunchtime, I knew they were coming back. And, basically the way the chow hall worked was your drill instructors would drop you off in the morning, they pick you up at night. But they would come in and eat at lunch. Wouldn't mess with you, wouldn't really, have anything to do with you. But so I went over, and one of my favorite DI, Sergeant Allison, I told him, I said, hey, my brother just got here. I didn't know he was coming, this, that, and other. He said, I bet you want to talk to him. I said, yeah, that'd be awesome. And of course, the first thing you never want to happen when you first get there is the drill instructors, you don't want them to know your name.
Yes, you never want to volunteer for anything.
Yeah, so there's my brother standing in line, and, all of a sudden his drill instructor goes, recruit Goolsby, blah, 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 And so anyhow, they singled him out, and he came over and sat down, and we were able to sit and chat for a little bit. But that was pretty cool. He was able to get out the Sunday of graduation and spend family day that day. And that day, June 4th, 1986, was also the day that President Ronald Reagan came to Parris Island.
Wow.
And
the Gipper.
My favorite president, hands down. We met him. We were basically, we just got back from breakfast chow that morning, and all we had left to do was, kind of clean up, straighten up, hang out, and wait to put on our uniforms to go graduate. And all of a sudden, attention on deck, and basically they came from the back end of the squad bay, and it was the president and a couple of senators and things like that. So he stopped and talked to every one of us and shook our hand and stuff, and that was really cool.
Yeah, he was really cool to the shrew.
Really, cool. Really hands-on, really just, from the heart, and it was just, pretty cool. And later on in life, I met him again, which was cool as well. But kind of some neat things there. I was blessed for God to put a lot of people in my area to kind of hedge me along the way and take care of me. My military career was very unusual. I started out dispersing and had a little gunny that was kind of my boss, and he had just came off the drill field. He had been on the drill field for like 3 or 4 years, and he said, Goolsby said, if you're ever going to really enjoy the Marine Corps, you're just the type you need to get out of this. You need to, you know. And so he said, I took the liberty of signing you up for a board. I'm like, what board, Gunny? He said, it's the embassy school. He said, you'll be fine. He said, if nothing else, you'll learn how to you know, act and what you go through in a board, and then the next one that comes up, you'll do better. So lo and behold, I took the board and got orders to embassy school, Quantico, Virginia. Ended up, and I don't know if y'all know the Ouagadougou in Burkina Faso, which is north of Ghana. And that was an experience. French was a native language there. We didn't spend much time away from the consulate. The highlight of every 2 weeks was we would have meat. We would go to the local, we called it the barbecue establishment. And if you ever been to a restaurant where you got to pick out your own lobster, this was one where you had the big cage and you got to pick out your own monkey.
Shit.
And that was the only meat
Wow.
that we knew of. I mean, vegetables and fruit were amazing and bountiful. But you'd get that meat, and it was wonderful. We just called it monkey on a stick. To do like shish kebabs.
They used to sell that down in Panama. They would say it was monkey meat. I don't know if it really was or not, but they would have little hibachis on the street, and there would be meat on the stick they'd sell you.
We were pretty, you know, the count of monkeys would always, you know, decrease as we left. So they put them in a box and brought them back out after we left. But it was always a journey. But just, you know, some life changing stuff like that. Came back, they're wanting me to go back and dispersing. By that time I'd been out for a while, and I said, you know, I really don't want to. So they said, well, we're going to put you in guard duty. So ended up basically we had there at Quantico, you had the ammo dump where all the live fire ammo and things like that ordnance was. And then down the road, you had the JP fuel for all like HMX1 and things like that there at Quantico. And
when I was with the 3rd U.S. Infantry, we used to do some stuff down at AP Hill in Quantico for our training and stuff when I was with the old guard.
I gotcha. Beautiful place. I mean, just amazing. And so doing that, and then I was the whole time I'm sitting here trying to figure out, I said, you know, I got to do something. And then all of a sudden I got orders to Okinawa. And that was the last place I wanted to go.
I've always wanted to go to Japan.
Everybody I knew that went there typically got in trouble, got busted or whatever. And I'm like, you know, there's just nothing. It's not what I want to do. But like I said, there was always somebody there watching out for me. So ran into my old CO from embassy school, Colonel Fox, and he said, I'm fixing to take over out at TBS. He said, you know, you can be an instructor. And he said, we can work on, he said, I can get your billet changed after a while, and we can work that. I said, all right. So anyhow, long story short, that's how I ended up at jump school. And then shortly after that I ended up at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, at Anglico. And then later on overseas. But just neat things how somebody was always there, coming back and then running into Colonel Fox again. And he went from a lieutenant colonel to a full colonel by then. He ended up getting out to the general. But he was there 3 times in my career to get me into things and keep me progressing and just happy as far as career wise. And probably the craziest thing was just as you know, the toll that your body takes jumping out of helicopters and airplanes and things
Yeah.
like that. And of course, in the military, Marine Corps especially, if you could walk, you could run. So I went through several knee issues and surgeries and probes, and
I got degenerative back disease with both my vertebrae and discs from my jumps.
yeah, I've got 3 or 4. I got neck fusions, so it's part of life. You roll with it. But like I said, it was all along. There was always something, that put me in a better situation. Toward the latter part of my career, ended up getting married a female Marine, and we had a child, and she took the option to get out, which I wish she would have stayed in, but it would have made life a little bit easier. But that was her option, and it was cool. But it also helped at the same time give us a good foundation at the house. And but then as my body took a toll, and there were certain things that I had offers to go do, but it would be a lot of time away from the family. And I'd already been gone a good bit overseas without them. So I opted to get out. And it was one of those things, too. I was looking at another knee surgery, and I was going to Bethesda Naval Hospital, where, most of your good surgeons are, you would think. I said, if they hadn't got it right yet, I don't foresee them really doing it. So I was up for staff sergeant and could have had the option to stay in, retain E6, but never promote over that and finish out 20. And I knew 2 of my friends that had done that, and they did it like I was going to do it, doing it for the family. And they said if they had to do it again, they wouldn't. And so that made my mind up that it was time. I was hoping to stay up in the DC area. At the time, I was working at either the Pentagon or the State Department, and I could have been doing the same job as a civilian that I was doing in the Marine Corps, but getting paid nicely for it. But my wife at the time wanted to come to beautiful, sunny Pensacola. I said, there's no jobs in Pensacola. So anyway, Pensacola we went. And then going through just struggles, again, just at the time, just young, stupid, didn't communicate well with each other, and had 2 kids. And so things didn't work out. And I turned around, I got custody of my boys. One was in diapers and one was in pull-ups. And so
That is kind of like me.
yeah. And and so the fun there, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
It was a blessing and a curse at the same time. But but just the structure you get through the military, the people you meet. I've got my squad from overseas. There were 7 of us, and now there's just 2. Couple have committed suicide, couple have had cancer.
Condolences, man.
Yeah.
And but I'll laugh at this, and I don't break it out often, but this was a helmet. And the funny thing about this is it was the fact that it's the chocolate chip print. Well, the Marine Corps, we were a bunch of ragamuffins, and that's just what the Marines are. Nothing ever matched, the whole time we were over in the desert. I had my green woodland helmet cover with a green woodland flak jacket with my desert cami. I didn't get my desert boots till 2 weeks before we were leaving. You know, and all you could do is just laugh about it. So anyhow, they found that, and they sent that several years ago, and it's one of those things that it kind of brings a smile to my face to laugh about. But just the the camaraderie, the guy that you meet, the things that you do, the struggles that you go through. But it's one of those things where sometimes people ask, and why do certain things happen to good people, or why do certain people have to go through certain things? Well, sometimes God wants us to go through certain things so we can learn, and then we can turn around and help somebody else.
Sometimes I find, in hindsight, that some of the biggest obstacles I've faced in my life were actually clearing the way for something better to come through. I mean, it was hard going through what I had to go through, but at the end, the spot I was at ended up being a better spot. But you don't always realize that when you're going through it, but later on, looking back, a lot of some of the worst things that have happened to me ended up working out that way.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
100%.
Somehow we have to get out of our own way, don't we?
Yeah.
But life's been amazing. Just really blessed. And you start thinking about like one of the gentlemen said earlier, the what does patriotism mean to me, and how do you define that? To me, it always just go on to foundational truths. Your faith, your core values, all of those things that keep order in this world. Because other than that, it's going to be chaos. But that's what makes America America.
That's right.
Is having
100%.
that core value, having the faith, being servants to others. To me, that's the patriotism. That's what America is known for. And if y'all and I'm sure y'all have been paying attention to a lot of the stories about the Europeans and stuff coming over to America and seeing who we are.
Yeah.
And it's awesome
I
to
love
see.
watching some of those videos.
It's awesome to see those stories happening, but
Yeah.
that's our patriotism. That's who we are. And then it's great being around this community and this group, because for the most part, whether you're military or not military, you've kind of got those same patriotic values and core strengths and servitude to take care of others above and beyond yourself. And that's why I've enjoyed the people I've met and been around, and try to kind of stay around. And there's a lot of good ones. And there's always going to be knuckleheads, and that's part of life. If there wasn't any knuckleheads, you'd be wondering who's lying to you.
Yeah, that's a good amount of
amen.
So,
Amen to that. Amen to that.
It's been neat. I appreciate being asked to come on tonight.
We appreciate you coming on and talking.
Yeah,
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
coming
Thank
in.
you. Thank you for
I don't
joining
even
us.
know
It's
if you can
just,
hear us. Can you hear us?
Patriotism
I
to
don't
think
me
so.
is
I'm not
just,
sure.
it's just part of
Just get
life,
Chad.
and
Yeah.
who we are. But
Thank
Chad,
you.
make sure.
if
I was
y'all
gonna-
can
Chad, make
send,
sure.
Thank you for
and I
joining
was
us.
going to read some of the excerpts of
What'd you say,
Ronald
Ed?
Reagan's.
Just make sure he knows that
I'm sorry.
we're not just being quiet. He can
Yep.
only hear you.
Same here.
It
Same
looks
here.
like the only person that you can hear right now is me. Yet you're not able to hear the other guys.
Okay. Just pass it on to let them know, or let everybody know. Basically, go on YouTube and look up President Ronald Reagan at Parris Island, his speech. And he never had a bad one. But that one talks about whether it's military or civilian, it talks about those things. It talks about what patriotism and what being American is. So, and he could say it a lot better than I can.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
All right,
Well,
yeah, we can wrap it up now.
Yeah,
Getting it
thank
to
you very,
2
thank you
hours,
very
huh?
much for coming on.
thank
And
you,
then,
sir.
I
I
really
appreciate what
appreciate it.
y'all do. I appreciate
Thank
what
you.
y'all do, and it's always fun to, the guys that y'all bring in here and to learn about the way the different caps are made and learn life stories. Like when we had the Mulligan in just a couple of weeks ago, and it's just those kind of things. You hear the life stories of people and things and how things have come about and who people are and their lineage and their history. And I appreciate y'all digging in and getting people on like that to learn more about this bad habit that we have.
I really have been
Great way of
enjoying
putting
those
it.
shows with some of the hatters also.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
so
Great way
keep
of
up the
putting
good
it.
work, and I
Most
appreciate
definitely.
y'all.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot,
So,
Keith.
Moose, did
All
you
right,
want me to
everybody.
talk, or did you want to ask and end the show?
Well, we got about 4 minutes. Chad.
Okay. I joined
Yeah,
the
so
Army.
I mean, we're gonna take next week off.
Hey.
Oh yeah, oh, wait, we're going with Chad. Yeah, Chad. Go
Yeah,
ahead. Go ahead,
David
Chad.
Goodlet asked that Chad share a story real quick in the chat. Yeah.
Go ahead,
okay.
Chad. Go ahead.
I joined the Army at age 20. I'd spent a couple years going to college for law enforcement. I ran out of the money, so I joined the Army on the Army College program. When I enlisted, I got recruited to go to the Honor Guard when I was going through jump school. And so I ended up getting sent to the 3rd U.S. Infantry Old Guard. While I was there, I ended up marrying my first wife, my Mulligan wife. Is my second wife. But she ended up, we joined the Army Joint Married Couples Program, and she was up for re-enlistment anywhere. And so we ended up getting stationed down in Panama. That's where my unit name comes from. I spent some time with the 5087th of 10th Mountain until a slot opened up with the first 508th over on Fort Kobe. I was there during Operation Just Cause in '89 because my wife was 7 months pregnant at the time. After that ended, they sent us out of country because they didn't want her having the baby in Panama after everything had happened there. And so I ended up getting sent to Fort Irwin, NTC. That was part of the Op Corps. I was a deep recon team scout. We trained U.S. troops how to fight Soviet forces in Afghanistan. This was in the late 80s, early 90s. So the situation over there was a little different then. After my wife had the baby, she ended up having some postpartum issues and left me with a 4-month-old baby to raise myself. So I ended up ETSing from the Army and ended up getting a job as an animal warden, and the rest, the YouTube channel and all that is where we are now.
Well, Chad, thank you for your
Reader's
service.
Digest version.
Thanks for your service. Thanks for sharing, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Chad.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Definitely heard some incredible stuff tonight for sure.
Oh,
Definitely.
yeah.
It's pretty cool to see how many veterans we have that are part of the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ian, did you want to say something, bud?
Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna have off next week, the 7th, and then we'll be back on the 14th. I don't have a booking for that yet, but I'm working on something. And then
I think Dubs is going to be off because of his birthday, so we might not be back for 2 weeks. Over 2 weeks.
That y'all Ed or
we're gonna have
somebody
we're gonna have Ed stand in or something like that. So
okay. I didn't know that.
Keep going.
So we'll do something, and then we do have bookings for the 21st and 28th. So that's it. So next week we are off. Happy 4th of July, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, everybody, for watching. Thanks for tuning in. This is our longest show ever. So, yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
It was worth it. It was worth it.
Yes. We're going to beat it by about 52 seconds.
All right.
All right.
care,
Have a
everybody.
great night. Thanks again for watching.
All right.
Bye.
For 250 years, America has been built by workers, dreamers, soldiers, farmers, fathers, mothers, and everyday people. As we prepare to celebrate America's 250th Independence Day, Join us for a special Gentlemen's Roundtable on Tuesday, June 30th at 7:30 p.m. Central, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, as we celebrate America, talk caps, and enjoy great conversation. Happy 250th birthday, America. Welcome to the Gentlemen's Roundtable.